Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudiraye Nashtaprayeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Ruttama-shloke Bhaktir-bhavati Naishtiki Om Ajnanatimmirandasya Jnananjana-shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha Sri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayyam Dadati Swapadantikam Namam Vishnu Padaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Nitinamine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, reading from Śrīmad Bhāgavatam. By His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. We are reading from Canto 4, Chapter 9, Dhruva Mahārāja returns home. So, we are in the section where we have seen Dhruva's regret, and now we will see reception of Dhruva when he is returning. The section is from text 37 to 53, return of Dhruva Mahārāja. So, we'll just see the text 37. Akaranyatmaja. Sorry. Akaranyatmajamayantam samparetya yathagatam rajana shraddhe bhadram abhadrasya kutah mama. Translation?
When King Uttanapad heard that his son Dhruva was coming back home, as if coming back to life after death, he could not put his faith in this message, for he was doubtful of how it could happen. He considered himself the most wretched, and therefore he thought that it was not possible for him to attain such good fortune. Dhruva Maharaj, a 5-year-old boy, went to the forest for penance and austerity, and the king could not at all believe that a small boy of such a tender age could live in the forest. He was certain that Dhruva was dead. He therefore could not fix his faith in the message that Dhruva Maharaj was coming back home again. For him, this message said that a dead man was coming back home, and so he could not believe it. After Dhruva Maharaj's departure from home, King Uttanapad thought that he was the cause of Dhruva's leaving, and thus he considered himself the most wretched. Therefore, even though it was possible that his lost son was coming back from the kingdom of death, he thought that since he was most sinful, it was not possible for him to be so fortunate as to get back his lost son. Hare Krishna.
So when King Uttanapad, Akaranya, when he heard about the return of Dhruva Maharaj is returning, as if coming back to life after death, he could not believe this message because he himself was doubtful, and then he thought that it is not possible for him to have such a good fortune. Bhadramte. In the purport, Srila Prabhupada explains that Dhruva Maharaj was just 5 years old, and he could not believe at all that such a small boy, such a tender age, can survive such austerities, right? Tremendous austerities that Dhruva performed. And going to the forest, what to speak of that time, these days also, in Maharashtra, there are so many, the biptas are moving around, right? If you are in the area like Rahuri or Chhatrapati Sambhajinagar, or even in Pune also, normally just like you see dogs moving around, nowadays people see on the road so many tigers moving around like that it is. Just imagine, this is Dhruva going to the forest and surviving all this. And this is how Uttanapad could not believe at all. And he thought literally it is a dead man coming back home. And he could not believe it. He himself considered that he is the cause of Dhruva's return. I mean, one thing is chastising Uttanapad, another thing is, the empathy. We can just go through what Uttanapad must have felt. And he was considered himself to be most wretched and fallen. And he thought that how such a great bhagya can come upon him, such a fallen personality. Text 38. Shraddhaya vakyam devarsher harshvegena dharshitah vartaharturati prita haram pradat mahadhanam. Translation.
Translation: Although he could not believe the words of the messenger, he had full faith in the word of the great sage Narada. Thus he was greatly overwhelmed by the news, and he immediately offered the messenger a highly valuable necklace in great satisfaction. Hare Krishna.
Shraddhaya vakyam. So he did not believe, but he had faith, Shraddha, in the Vakya of Devarshi. These are great qualities, right? He did not believe, but he had great faith in. Somebody said Dhruva is coming. He said, no, impossible. How can Dhruva come? But he had faith in the words of Narada Muni, Devarshi. We have a wonderful devotee whose name is Devarshi, right? So, Harshavegena Dharshitah. He, and one who gave that news, what happened is, he had full faith in the great sage Narada, and thus he, greatly overwhelmed by the news, immediately offered the messenger his garland, haram, pradat mahadhanam. So this is one point here is, this is the importance of giving news. And especially, I mean, again, about news, there are two things, devotee community, we have to take care. We should not be cause of be cause of spreading the bad news. Or, bad news here in the sense that we should never spread the rumor about anybody. That is one thing. Second thing is, even to tell a true bad news, we should not be very angry. Pata hai kya Prabhu ji, wo chala gaya karke. We should not be unnecessarily too anxious. And what is the example for this? Classic example from Bhagavatam.
Prabhuji, Krishna leaving the world?
Krishna departing the world, and Vidura withholding that news because he realized that, I cannot handle the consequences of these news. A devotee should not be eager to spread the negative news unless you cannot say that somebody has to tell, and then that one who has to tell, let them tell. We don't have to be, पता है क्या प्रभु जी, ये ब्रह्मचारी ने आश्रम चेंज कर दिया, इसके साथ ऐसा हो गया, उसको ये हो गया. So it is very important what news we are spreading, right? And second thing is also what we have observed is, let the person tell his own news. What that means is that, say somebody, unke ghar mein bacha ho gaya. So say Krishnadas is blessed by a boy child, and you are his friend Ramdas, and he calls you. Krishnadas calling Ramdas, pata hai kya mujhe ladka ho gaya karke. No, Ramdas should not be very eager to tell the news. This is Krishnadas news, and let Krishnadas only tell, right? So this, a little bit of balance one has to be there. Text 39. Sadashvam rathamaruhya kartasvara parikrutam brahmanai kulavriddhaischa paryastamatya bandhubihi shankadam dubinadena brahmaghoshena venubhi nischakrama puraturnam atmaja bhikshana utsaka. Translation.
Then King Uttanapad, being very eager to see the face of his lost son, mounted a chariot drawn by excellent horses and bedecked with golden filigree, taking with him many learned Brahmanas, all the elderly personalities of his family, his officers, his ministers, and his immediate friends, and he immediately left the city. As he proceeded in this parade, There were auspicious sounds of conch shells, kettle drums, flutes, and the chanting of Vedic mantras to indicate all good fortune.
Yeah. So now here, King Uttanapa, as soon as he heard this news, immediately he was very eager to see the face of his lost son Utsuka. Okay, he was very Ikshana. He was very eager to have the glimpse of Dhruva. Atmaja Abhikshana Utsuka. And very quickly he started, but while now moving, he did not miss on the Vaishnava etiquette. Right. He picked up the Vaishnavas, he picked up the great Brahmanas who were chanting the mantras. There were Kulavriddhaischa, Parivar ki Vriddhalok. They also started. Amatya also joined. Bandhubi joined. And there were Shankha, Dumdubi, Nadena, Brahma Ghoshena, Venubihi. And this is how the entire procession, this is how the father was preparing, what the mother was doing. Text 41. Suniti surucheschasya Mahishyo Rukmabhushite Aruya Shibikam Sardham Uttamena Abhijagmatuhu. Translation.
Both the queens of King Uttanapada, namely Suniti and Suruchi, along with his other son Uttama, appeared in the procession. The queens were seated on a palanquin. Purport. After the departure of Dhruva Mahārāja from the palace, the king was very afflicted, but by the kind words of Saint Narada, he was partially satisfied. He could understand the great fortune of his wife Suniti and the great misfortune of Queen Suruchi. For these facts were certainly very open in the palace. But still, when the news reached the palace that Dhruva Mahārāja was returning, his mother Suniti, out of her great compassion due to being the mother of a great Vaishnava, did not hesitate to take the other wife Suruchi with her son Uttama on the same palanquin. That was the greatness of Queen Suniti, the mother of the great Vaishnava Dhruva Mahārāja.
Yeah. So while father was preparing like this, both the mothers, both the queens, along with Uttama, they appeared in the procession while queen sitting in the palanquin. In the purport, Srila Prabhupada explains that after the departure of Dhruva, king was very afflicted, but Narada Muni somehow consoled him. So he had some hope. And as soon as, and this was an open matter in the palace, why Dhruva has gone. Sometimes we think that nobody knows. No, everybody knew why Dhruva has, left the kingdom and why the whole thing has happened. It was only because of Suruchi and Uttanapad not timely intervening, this kind of aggression by Suruchi. This has happened. But Suniti was very conscious of Vaishnava etiquette. Suniti was not taking this as a brownie point to show Suruchi down, and she will take Dhruva and just say, "Dekho tere naak pe ye laga ki my son has come back now and now he will sit on the throne." This was never the mood of Suniti. This is Prabhupada writes here, Suniti, out of her great compassion and due to being the mother of a great Vaishnava, did not hesitate to take other wife Suruchi and her son Uttama on the same palanquin. That was the greatness of Queen Suniti. And exactly these qualities came in child in Dhruva. So just see the potency of a mother. Nowadays people think that kya kiya humne, Marathi we say this, what they say? They say that Randa, Vada, Ushtikada, what I have done beyond that. Just cooking. I was just cooking, washing vessels, and, serving in, this, feeding people. That is not mother. Actually, it is the mother it is actually the lady in the house. Grihini only makes griha, otherwise it's a hostel. Right. Grihini makes griha. And this way I have seen at every level. Even the counselors, very frankly to speaking, that I'm a counselor because my wife is a counselor, literally. Because otherwise, any kutumba, any family is very difficult to take care of without and the family will generally take the mood of the lady in the house. And therefore, it is the great responsibility. Nowadays, people from housewife, people are saying homemaker. And this is really a real word, homemaker. They really, really make the home without any, the so-called remuneration or without any so-called the prestige and other things. They are the real homemakers. And this is, we can see, Queen Suniti, the real homemaker. That's why we say in preaching, you make a man into a devotee, man will become a devotee. You make a lady into a devotee, entire house will become a devotee. Right? So this one can see the character of Dhruva being nurtured by the character of Queen Suniti, his own mother. Text 42. Tam drishtva upavanaabhyashe ayantam tarasarathat avaruya nrupaturnam asyad prema vivvalah परिरेभे अंगजम दोर्भ्याम दीर्घ उत्कंठमनाश्वसन विश्वक्सेनांग्रि संस्पर्श ऋताशेष अगबंधनम. Translation.
Upon seeing
Translation.
Dhruva Mahārāja approaching the neighboring small forest, King Uttanapad, with great haste, got down from his chariot. He had been very anxious for a long time to see his son Dhruva, and therefore, with great love and affection, he went forward to embrace his long-lost boy. Breathing very heavily, the king embraced him with both arms. But Dhruva Mahārāja was not the same as before. He was completely sanctified by spiritual advancement due to having been touched by the lotus feet of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Hare Krishna.
Yes. Now see how Bhagavatam has completely slowed now. Right? Now, if we see the 4-5 verses, later Bhagavatam is going to cover few universes in 2-3 verses. Now here, as soon as the news came, he gave Hara Pradhanam, Mahadhanam, the big dhana was given to the person who, then how the father prepared, how the mother prepared, and this is their reunion. Right. King Uttanapad, being very eager to see the face of his lost son, he considered him Dhruva to be dead actually, and he was the cause of death. That was his understanding. He had some faith. He had faith in, some bleak hope that Narada Muni has said he will come back. Maybe he will come back. But all the statistics, Uttanapad was a king. He knew all the statistics. 5-year-old boy staying in 6 months in the forest and doing this kind of austerity. What is the possibility of he returning alive? So he mounted the chariot drawn by the So he was in great haste. He got down from the chariot as soon as he saw Dhruva, and with great love and affection, he went to embrace his long lost boy. Long lost, it was 6 months, right? But these 6 months appeared like many yugas. Yugayatam nimishena, right? They appeared to be many yugas for Uttanapad. Breathing heavily, Dirghashvasan, the king embraced the boy with both the arms, and as soon as he embraced, he realized this boy is completely transformed. Right? By the touch of the Supreme, he had been completely sanctified by the spiritual advancement due to being touched by the lotus feet of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So this is how the beautiful reunion between the father and the son. Text 44. Atha jighranmuhamurdhni shitai nayanavaribi snapayamasa tanayam jata uddama manoratha. Translation.
Translation. Reunion with Dhruva Mahārāja fulfilled King Uttanapad's long-cherished desire, and for this reason he smelled Dhruva's head again and again and bathed him with torrents of very cold tears. Purport. By nature's way, when a man cries, there may be two causes. When One cries in great happiness upon the fulfillment of some desire. The tears coming forth from the eyes are very cold and pleasing, whereas tears in times of distress are very hot. Hare Krishna.
So here, reunion with Dhruva fulfilled King Uttanapad's long cherished desire. What is long cherished desire? Long cherished desire because for a long he wanted to wholeheartedly, embrace Dhruva. But the Suruchi was always there. That, whenever you embraced Dhruva, she will just, with a frown in the eye, she will look so. And then, wo bhi dar dar ke, you must be embracing Dhruva. So now, Dhruva Maharaj, in front of Suruchi, he could very long, he just long cherished desire to embrace my child, such a wonderful child. And he bathed him with the torrents of cold tears. Right? Shita. Shitair Nayanavaribihi. In the purport, Srila Prabhupada explains that tears come because of two things. One is because of happiness and because of distress. The tears of happiness, they are cold tears. And the tears of distress, they are hot tears. Look at the analysis, right? So this is Shitair Nayanavaribihi. Text 45. Abhivandya Pituh Padau आशीर्भिश्च अभिमन्त्रितः ननाम मातरौ शीर्ष्णा सत्कृतः सज्जनाग्रणी. Translation.
Then Dhruva Mahārāja, the foremost of all nobles, first of all offered his obeisances at the feet of his father and was honored by his father with various questions. He then bowed his head at the feet of his two mothers. Purport. It may be questioned why Dhruva Mahārāja offered his respect not only to his mother but also to his stepmother, due to whose insults he had to leave home. The answer is that after achieving perfection by self-realization and seeing the Supreme Personality of Godhead face to face, Dhruva Mahārāja was completely freed from all contamination of material desires. Feelings of insult or honor in this material world are never perceived by a devotee. Lord Chaitanya therefore says that one has to be humbler than the grass, and he recommends more tolerant than the tree to execute devotional service. Dhruva Mahārāja therefore has in this verse been described as Sat Janagraniha, the foremost of noblemen. The pure devotee is the noblest of all, and he has no feelings of animosity towards anyone. Duality due to animosity is a creation of this material world. There is no such thing in the spiritual world, which is the absolute reality.
Yeah. So now here, Dhruva, who is Sajjana Agrani. Sajjana Agrani means Sajjano mein sarvasresht. He is, Prabhupada writes here, he is the foremost of the noble personalities, Dhruva. What did he do? He offered his obeisances at the feet of his father and was honored by his father with various questions. First thing the father will ask, Beta, kaise ho? How? I mean, he is just embracing, seeing Dhruva is all well, and how did he pass his 6 months and what happened to you? And all those things happened. Then he bowed down his head at the feet of his two mothers. In the purport, Srila Prabhupada explains, one may question this, that it is because of Suruchi, Dhruva had to undergo the entire tribulation. Why did he offer obeisances to Suruchi? But Dhruva, by the touch of the Supreme, he was completely freed from all contamination of material desires. Right? And feeling of insult and honor in this material world are never perceived by a devotee. So this is progressively, we have to come to this platform. Sampade vipade, jivane marane. That, things will happen. Sampade vipade, jivane. Bhagavad Gita says this. What is that? Samas, labha labho, jaya jayo. That, one has to have an equipoised mindset. Things will go at times like what we want, at times against what we want. But when things are going the way we want, we are not, that we are not going reckless. When they are going against, we are not becoming hopeless. One has to keep on that path of equanimity, samatvam, always there. And this was very much because Dhruva had come to the platform of Vasudeva Sattvam, he had the darshan of Vasudev. Lord Chaitanya, therefore, Prabhupada says here, has therefore instructed his devotees, Trunadapi Sunichena Taroriva Sahishnuna Amanina Manadena Kirtaniya Sadahari. That, one has to have this mindset to continue the devotional service. Otherwise, there will be so many different things. Somebody will provoke us. And, I remember, when some issue happened with me. It took me 2-3 years to come out of that whole turmoil. And then I realized what a utter waste of time I did. Of course, I was chanting, I was preaching, everything was there. But still, it took some time to come out of, that whenever you have some grudge in the heart, it takes some time to come out of it. And more conditioned we are, more longer the time it will take. Right? Later we'll see Jadabharat. Jadabharat was also very severely insulted by Rahugun. But Jadabharat had some waves of dissatisfaction and very quickly he came out of it. But more conditioned we are, it will take a longer period. And therefore the safe stance is to, that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu advises here. Trunatapi sunichena taroriva sahishnuna amanina manadena kirtaniya sadahari. Of course, making sure that we are not exploited for this stance, one should be always in the mood of Sajjana Agrani. Prabhupada says he was the foremost of noblemen. Duality due to animosity is a creation of this material world. This doesn't exist in the spiritual world. Right. Text 46. Suruchistam samuthyapya pada avanata arbhakam parishvajyaha jiveti bashpa gadgadaya gira. Translation.
Suruchi, the youngest mother of Dhruva Mahārāja, seeing that the innocent boy had fallen at her feet, immediately picked him up, embracing him with her hands, and with tears of feeling she blessed him with the words, "My dear boy, long may you live."
Yeah, so Suruchi, she saw Pada Avanata Arbhakam. Now the very, very similar words are going to come when Prahlad falls at the feet of Nrsimhadev. Arbhakam, child, baby falling at the feet. Until then, Nrsimha is so angry and suddenly sees this child falling at the feet who has suffered for him so much. And then he becomes very shant. The Ugra Nrsimha becomes very shant Nrsimha now. So now here Suruchi, Parijasva Jiveti Bhashpa Gadgadaya Gira. That greatness of Dhruva was so much that he melted even the heart of Suruchi. Look at this, correct? So, therefore, this Sajjana Agrani is very important. Somebody is behaving harshly doesn't mean that usko main ठिकाने पे लाता हूँ. You think you are harsh, you think you are sher, I will be sawa sher and make you straight. Of course, this may work somewhere, but this cannot be the all-go strategy to solve any problem. That is not the default strategy of a devotee. Sher ko sawa sher karke. That is not. So here, what did Dhruva do? Suruchi blasted him. He cried, went to mother, perform austerity, got purified, came back, fell at the feet of Suruchi. Suruchi was just dying out of shame. And she, complete transformation because of this kind of behavior by Dhruva. Bhashpa Gadgadaya Gira. And she's saying, my dear child, may you live a long life. The previous discussion, she said, you have to die, right? And you have to die and take birth from me. And now she's saying, may you live a long life. In the meantime, her own life is going to be destroyed. So this is the transformation of devotional service. Devotional service is extremely powerful. We'll just recite the next verse because it's a beautiful verse. Yasya prasanno bhagavan
यस्य प्रसन्नो भगवान्
भगवान् मैत्रादिभिर्हरिः तस्मै नमन्ति भूतानि
तस्मै नमन्ति भूतानि
निम्नमाप इवं स्वयं.
Nirmap iva swayam.
Whatever this is. Yeah, translation, we just read the translation.
Upon the one who has transcendental qualities due to friendly behavior with the Supreme Personality of Godhead, all living entities offer honor just as water automatically flow down by nature.
Yeah. Yasya prasanno Bhagavan, one who has pleased the Supreme Lord, Gunair Maitraadivir Harihi. What happens? Upon the one who has the transcendental qualities due to the friendly behavior with the Supreme, all, samasite, all the good qualities will come and sit upon that personality. Tasmai namanti bhutani. And all the living entities will offer obeisances to such a personality, just like naturally water flows automatically downwards by its nature. So we will conclude here and continue tomorrow. Srila Prabhupada ki jai,
Jai.
Gaura Bhakta Vrinda ki jai. Thank you,
Jai.
Prabhupada. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you,
Thank you,
Prabhuji.
Prabhupada. Thank you, thank you, everyone. Hare Krishna.
Hare
Thank you,
Krishna.
Prabhuji. Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna. Dandavat pranam.
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Prabhuji.
Prabhuji. Hare Bol.
Hare Krishna.
Prabhuji, my question was related to yesterday's class. So does जीव गोस्वामी में चैतन्य महाप्रभु से मिले उनका मिलाप
No,
हुआ?
never. Jiva Goswami never met Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in his life.
Okay.
Although Mahaprabhu was around.
Yeah. Why? Because प्रभु उनका इतना इंटेंसेंस उनका मिलने का था चैतन्य महाप्रभु से.
Nothing. Because मिलने से सब कुछ नहीं होता ना माताजी. He carried the mission of Mahaprabhu.
Okay.
Than simply meeting Mahaprabhu. So Nityananda Prabhu wanted him to carry the mission of Mahaprabhu.
Okay.
Right. So he became the next, the prominent Acharya and spread Krishna consciousness all through. So carrying mission is more important than simply, being around. I mean, one day I had gone to His Holiness Gopal Krishna Goswami Maharaj was there, and I went to our Sarva Lakshan Prabhu and I told him that, Prabhuji, I want to, do some personal seva to Maharaj. And he said, what you can do? I said that I can massage his lotus feet. And then he said, yeah, you can try. I will take you to him. But his natural question will be, anybody can massage. If you can preach, go and preach. Don't waste your time. So, this is, and then he said, do you still want to do massage? I said, no, I will go and preach. So, of course, there is importance of Vapu Seva. But the point here is that Vani is far more important than Vapu.
Very nice.
Right?
Yes, Prabhuji. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Thank you, Prabhupada. Thank you, everyone. Hare Krishna.
Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Yes, Prabhu.
Prabhuji, what is this Vapu Seva? I am not aware of this.
See, there is two ways one can associate with great personality. One is called as Vapu. Vapu means physical association. One is able to meet them. One is able to offer the personal service, like unke liye cooking karna, unke saath rehna, like, something like that. Vani means to follow the instructions and take ahead the mission. Right. So when there is a great personality, like, just now I talked about Gopal Krishna Maharaj, when he was here, or, currently the ISKCON sannyasis, Radhanath Swami Maharaj, Lokanath Swami Maharaj, there is a limitation on how many people can be with him, how many people can be his personal servant, and how many people can massage their feet and wash their clothes, right? This is called as Vapu Seva. But the Vani Seva means doing what they want us to do in our life and spreading the mission. That everybody can do. So therefore this, this lingo is used. Vani, Vapu Seva means offering the personal service to their personalities, and Vani Seva. Vani Seva means following the instructions and spreading the mission. Right? Yeah. Thank you, Prabhupada.
Yeah. Even yes, I also hear yesterday's lecture. It was really nice. And it was a good opportunity even to see you for the first time.
Nice, Prabhuji. Hare, thank you. Hare Krishna.
You look pretty young, Prabhuji.
No, I'm not very young. I'm 50 plus.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, chalo, anyway.
Okay. Hare Krishna.
Thank you,
Thank you.
Prabhupada.